Lord Errol is a big man on the IT scene, previously a programmer and now a member of the European Internet Security Lobby and a member of the Parliamentary Information Technology Committee. Lord Errol, welcome. Can you understand why the French citizens are concerned about the government's proposal for this database?
Yes, because I think centralising a huge amount of information in one place with some people where there may not be proper controls over what they're going to do with it is very dangerous. The trouble with centralising all the stuff in one place is that it gives someone powerful a huge amount of access to look at that information and make inferences about you. And the trouble is, we know that some of that stuff's going to be wrong. And if they draw the wrong conclusions, how do you prove it's wrong? Particularly as they very often cover up their mistakes.
It's been argued that this is a centralisation of information that's already out there. The argument is the security services already have all the information anyway, and this is just centralising it. So in theory, doesn't that mean the system should have access to all this information anyway?
You're assuming that the system is totally joined up, and in fact one of the great checks and balances of the system is that sometimes one arm of the state has to go and ask another arm of the state for some of this information. And at that point that can flag up danger signs if you've got a bad egg in one of those two. And we know that always, it doesn't matter what organisation it is, once it's big there will be one or two bad people inside it. If they're all in one organisation and they get powerful enough, it may be far harder to find out who they are. If every now and then they have to ask someone else for some of the information, it can easily show up.
Is there an argument for creaky government actually keeping the information on paper, in books, in vaults? Because it's more difficult to lose it and it's also more difficult for the wrong person to access it.
Tempting to think that, and I can see that argument, and the libertarian part of me, which thinks that government often gets it wrong, and sometimes, and very often I think we're going overboard over the dangers involved. At the end of the day, only 3% of us die not of a medical disease, in an accident. Your chance of being hit by a terrorist are so low, you really don't want to run your life worrying about it. We need to get on with living. But equally so, we know from history that the dangers of giving too much power to a government to control its people are enormous. Eventually someone gets themselves into a position where they can use that. So I think you're right in many ways, but at the same time it's not practical. And there are a lot of other people who will have unfortunate things happen because you didn't know that they were vulnerable.
Lord Errol, thanks very much for your time.
No, not at all.
We would love to hear your thoughts on this.